This is the first lecture of 2 lectures that talk specifically around targeting your tweets. In this lecture, we will talk around selecting the right audiences, how you can use Twitter's targeting options to make sure that your tweet has a strong return on investment and limits the amount of media wastage. The second lecture, the lecture right after this, is actually a PDF guide taken directly from Twitter's site explaining how to use custom audiences in detail. We will cover it briefly in this lecture. In the next lecture, it's primarily solely around the Twitter's custom audience section. So, targeting your tweets. How do you go about targeting your tweets? Well, what you'll need to do is choose the targeting options that Twitter advertising allows for you to target your ad audiences in the following ways. You can target based on keywords. So you can target your promoted tweets towards Twitter users who search or tweet a particular keyword or a set of keywords in their normal Twitter activity. You can target around television, so targeting your promoted tweets towards Twitter users who engage with a particular TV show or group of TV shows here in the UK or indeed in the US. You can target users based on interests and followers. So you could target your promoted tweets towards Twitter users similar to your followers or any other Twitter users' followers, including your competition. So if you have a particularly strong competitor on Twitter who has a large, engaged, active Twitter audience, you can actually target your competitor's audience to serve your ads too. You could also target ads using Twitter's advertising predefined categories list with 300 topics from automotive to travel to choose from. So, if Twitter has classified and categorized users within a particular area of interest, you could just target those. You can also use tailored audiences. Now, like I mentioned earlier, tailored audiences will be dealt with more specifically in the next lecture. However, just to give you a bit of information around that now, you could target your promoted tweets towards your existing customers, maybe your prospects, by allowing Twitter to create custom audience lists from ad partners and platforms such as AdRoll, Quantcast, ValueClick, ExtraTarget, MailChimp, Axiom, Social Code, and others that are listed in the attached guide. So if you'd like more information around tailored audiences using Twitter's third-party data sources, then I'd strongly advise that you check out that next lecture and read through that PDF. When it comes to selecting the right audience, in addition to targeting based on all of the things that we've been through previously, you can also target your Twitter ads based on location, the type of device that is being used by a Twitter user, the gender of the user. You can also specify whether promoted tweets should appear in a user's timeline or in search results, or both. One of the questions that I'm often asked is what sort of targeting works best? Which targeting options do we think perform best? Well, the answer very often disappoints, and the answer is it depends. It depends on what it is you're trying to achieve. It depends on who your audience are, how much or how many of your audience are available to us on Twitter. To give you our honest answer, we always test keyword targeting and interest and follower targeting right out of the gate. So these are the ones that we will test and we will run ads against no matter what. Usually we set up a campaign for both and find that both of those targeting options produce a solid return on investment. The campaign that targets a specific keyword will typically reach less people versus targeting specific interests or followers. For example, if you look here, you can see that we're promoting a course about e-commerce. The keyword campaign reached far less people, around 434,000 people versus 825,000 people based on interests. The reason why it reached less is because we were targeting people who had specifically mentioned e-commerce, e-com or e-commerce with a variety of spellings and pronunciations. Although it's reaching less people, it is converting much higher because it's only targeting people who have actually tweeted a keyword related to the product or service that we're trying to promote. So what our message is there, it's not just about the audience size and the reach that your Twitter ads will have. Ultimately, it's more important which one is going to drive you the higher number of conversions, or drive you acquisitions at a reasonable cost. Now, both of these campaigns work at delivering a solid return on investment. However, out of the two, the one targeting the keywords is definitely the stronger one here. Our message to you at this point is to trial and test different targeting options to find the right targeting option that suits your objective best. You can see here some of the Twitter handles that were being targeted for that promotion that we showed you earlier when we were targeting the followers and interests targeting parameter. You can see that this campaign reached far more than the keywords campaign did, because we were targeting the followers of these particular Twitter accounts. Now, as you can see, and if you have any interest in e-commerce, you'll realize that these are some major players on the e-commerce side of things on Twitter. They have huge follower bases, therefore our tweets can reach a huge number of audience members. You can test and target based on location as well, and in the terms of the location field, we always specify a location and never ever target all available locations. If you check all available locations, your budget will be spent in a very short period of time, mostly in countries that don't speak English, as it tends to happen. So we target the top 4 or 5 countries that actually tend to buy or consume our products and services. We would suggest that you always specify location to protect your budget, and target all the countries and regions and cities that could buy your product or service.